Hello there, everyone! And by everyone, I mean nobody, because nobody watches the show. Welcome to Supercast Brothers, the people who talk about Smash Brothers, yet they're not that great at it, or at least they're not as great as they think they are. My name's Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, and then I got this freak over here.
Yes. Hello, it is me. I'm Jonathan Jonno, or Jonathan. That's my full
Jonathan
name.
Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went by that when I was a humanoid shark person for a while. It was a good time.
Right. Well,
But that's not what we're here for today, is it, brother man?
no, but once upon a time I did make a moveset for Jonathan Jones, so there is that.
Is it on the wiki?
No, this was Mercurios days.
I vaguely remember it.
Because you one day made a post called Zant, okay? And I was like, what? Wait, what? And it was Zant from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And I'm just like,
Yep.
you cheeky motherfucker. Alright, I see what I gotta do. So I was going through thinking, like, what characters do I know called John that I could just make something for? John's not very common in video games, at least not of characters that I can really work with. Oh, Jesus. Jonathan Jones? Okay, I could probably make something work here. And then I created a topic called John. No.
Good times.
And then I was the cheeky motherfucker.
Yep, as you always have been ever since.
Yes. Speaking of making characters.
And speaking of Twilight Princess, ironically enough.
It's Smashtopia time, and we've got another Legend of Zelda character for you today, as you can tell by the title of the video. I don't know why we bother being... trying to be a little mysterious about what we're doing when it's like, it's right there. Why? Why do we try? I don't know. It's fun. It's fun,
I don't know. Who's this character? Like Dark Link?
Yeah, we are doing the Dark Interloper from Twilight Princess. No, God, no.
Nice.
I refuse to do that.
Hero Shade?
Colin. That's another moveset I did once. I made moveset for fucking Colin once.
Yeah, back in the day when you were convinced that Colin would be like the next Link.
No, that's not what it was. I was not convinced he would be the next Link. The perspective I was taking with it was, in universe, he has Link is like his childhood hero. He wants to be like his hero, so he wants to try and learn to fight like him. That's where I was taking it. It was not,
there you go.
I thought he was going to be the next hero. Come on now.
Okay.
Anyways, so we're talking Midna from Twilight Princess. A couple of reasons why we decided to go with Midna. First of all, I mean, did you see the Tournament of Champions? Come on.
Midna, that was an intense battle, wasn't it?
Yes. Midna won our Tournament of Champions. That's not to say that every Tournament of Champions, the winner will be a character that we do in Smashtopia. We might, but there's no guarantee on that. But Midna is also just a really great character, generally speaking, on her own. So we thought she'd be a fun one to do. And while this is the first time that we've done two characters from the same franchise in Smashtopia, this was on the podcast, we thought Legend of Zelda would be a good first one to do because, one, it's one of the most popular franchises in video game history. But two, the one we did before was just decloning Toon Link, which, don't get me wrong, I thought it was great to declone Toon Link, but it was one, another Link, and two, it's a decloning. Why don't we get into an actual new character that's also not Link? So not, Toy Link or Wolf Link. No, it's fucking Midna, guys.
Yeah. And, Zelda can certainly use the extra push, nonetheless, and smash proper.
It really could.
Another good reason. There were several good characters that we had to really sort through to get to Midna, but that she won the Tournament of Champions, I think, helped us set her over the edge.
Oh, yeah.
And she's really the best Navi-type character there is.
Yeah.
By a considerable margin, at least in my opinion, but also probably the majority of the Zelda fan bases.
I mean,
I don't think that's controversial.
Navi is the meme. Navi is meme material. And there's no way Navi could fight. And then Fi is a fighter in Hyrule Warriors, but Fi is also very annoying in how robotic Fi is.
Yeah, was kind of the hand-holding nature of Skyward Sword through your character. People were not very warm towards
Replace the
either.
batteries in your Wii remote. Remember that, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Small side now, Skyward Sword will be so much better if it were recreated in HD without all that motion control craziness.
Yeah.
One of these days, maybe.
I
But
mean,
Midna,
there were
yeah.
rumors of it, but we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see for Zelda's 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
Decent chance.
Maybe we'll just get a special collector's edition of the original Zelda being released on the Switch with like no actual part.
Don't you mean Zelda 35? I mean, I'm calling it
Oh,
now.
I
We're
was just
gonna get
talking
it.
about Fire Emblem.
We are abs. Oh, right, I got that. Now
Mhm.
I definitely feel like we're gonna get Zelda 35.
I concur.
That
I
when
concur.
Mario 35 leaves the Nintendo Switch Online, we're getting Zelda 35 for sure.
Agreed. Agreed. And what form will it take? Probably the original. So
Well, yeah,
it'll be interesting to see pan out and kind of going to go from there because Super Mario's anniversary was surely affected by coronavirus.
oh, it absolutely was.
And 3D All Stars was kind of a tacked on release as much as I love the game, so it's good because the games are good. It's not good because it's a good collection.
Yeah, the collection
So
we'll probably get will include like Ocarina, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, and that's what we'll get. They're gonna
yeah,
leave out Majora and Wind Waker.
and then we're going, which ironically enough are like the two of the most celebrated games in Zelda history.
Yep.
But you package Ocarina of Time with Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, and that gets Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess somewhere. So true enough. Twilight Princess is genuinely great, though, not to bash on it.
Yeah.
And Midna, again, is a great character. So my saltiness over her handily winning the tiebreaker in the final round of the Tournament of Champions has dissipated a good majority. I was pretty legitimately pissed though
You were.
at the
You
time.
were very
It was
upset that she kept tying, or with your characters, that you were wanting more. It's like, nope, Midna.
yep, yep,
Midna. And
yep.
then we go like, hey guys, we need live tiebreaker, please help. And everybody's just like, yeah, no, Midna. It's like, oh, you poor thing.
Then Kelly said Marshall the next day, so of course he's my best friend now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just reminds me of the time I ran a poll in our Discord for what Smash character we wanted to see added as DLC after Ultimate base game had released. And Amaterasu just kept ripping through all a bunch of characters that I wanted more. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
Hmm.
sure, Amaterasu is cool, but they're not better than these other ones. This is bullshit.
Well, she beat Gino in the first round.
I'm still bitter about that one, too. I'm fucking pissed about that one. Mm-mm.
You should tell the group who you pulled for it.
I don't think I need to.
Oh yeah, they're gonna listen to the well.
No, they won't.
One day when we're dead, they'll listen to this,
No, they
and
won't.
then they'll know. They'll feel
Please. Do
nostalgic
you
and like
think they
love that one
care?
episode
Do you think they care?
about the show or about us dying.
Both.
I think they care on varying ratios, and I won't say which one they care more
I
about.
think Eric cares more.
That's also true. Yes, he's a frequent listener anyway.
We think.
So we think. True enough. Um, but there's a lot that's been going on besides before we get into the character. There's a lot that's gone on since the last time we recorded. I don't want to super date the episode though, so the only thing I will say is it was recently Lister's birthday.
Oh,
So
right.
cheerio, happy days for being an old person now.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
times.
closer to a gravestone. Yep.
The friends will care when you die. Some will, on a varying ratio of 1 to 10.
I think you mean 1 to 3.
What do you think I'll be on that scale?
-3.
Oh, given that's what you'd be on my scale.
Wow. Fuck you. So, we have a Twilight
Yeah.
imp to discuss today.
We do.
One big thing that we want to make known about how we're approaching Midna is Midna is not riding Wolf Link in our moveset for her. She's also not alone. In Hybrid Warriors, Midna is a playable character, and she fights on a generic Twilight Wolf. And we decided to take the same approach here for her moveset because, well, multiple reasons. Being one of them is I already have a Twilight Link on his own moveset on the wiki, so that's
who transforms
partly
into Wolf Link.
Yeah.
And there you go. Yeah.
And also, we kind of just thought, like, if this was to actually be in Smash, Midna probably would be on Wolf Link. But at least part of the way that we've kind of approached the wiki is any character that we put on there, it's kind of like its own gigantic Smash game. Like,
universe.
all the things on there would be in this theoretical game. So there's
Popeye.
Well, maybe not the fourth-party content. That's more of that's something different.
Sure.
But like in our theoretical Smashtopia Smash Brothers game, we've got Wild Link, we've got Skyward Link, we've got Twilight Link. Eventually, well, we have Toon Link. Eventually, we'll have a regular Link, and we'll have probably a Linkle, maybe a Ravio, Toy Link. I'm not sure what other options there are. And so Midna's riding on a regular Twilight Wolf instead of Wolf Link. But for those of you that think she should be riding Wolf Link instead, you know what? Anytime we say Twilight Wolf, just pretend it's Wolf Link, because there's literally going to be no difference in the attacks other than just how the wolf looks. So, just letting you know our approach, and that really, in the grand scheme of things, it's just an aesthetic choice.
Yeah. And really, the Twilight Wolfos looks cool anyway.
Oh, yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Look it up if you haven't seen it. It's very similar to Wolf Link anyways.
I have a picture printed out of it, actually.
Oh, God. I was wondering where your prop was.
There you go. For the audio listeners, that's just like me and Lister holding hands.
You know what? While you goof around, I'm gonna play some Xenoblade.
Okay, enjoy.
I will.
This is that's Peppermint Butler there.
Yeah. Sure,
okay. So with all that said, to begin with Midna, riding the Twilight Wolfo, so she does in Hyrule Warriors. We always approach these Smashtopias as we do with how they're translated onto our Smashtopia wiki, and how you first see a playable character in Smash proper, which is you begin with the beginning, you enter with the entrance. And so Lister and I both have some entrances propped up for Midna for our Smashtopia series, as always. Yes, and I will start with mine because I made the interlude and I said so. So it's pretty typical, honestly. Where commonly enough, Midna would often use the power of the fused shadow that she wears in Twilight Princess to teleport around. So it's like that. Midna is on the Twilight Wolfos, ready to battle, and she teleports in from this mass of Twilight energy in the sky. That shoots her down, and there you go.
Well, my entrance animation. You see, Midna is known to be able to teleport in Twilight Princess, going from one location to another. You could call it fast travel if you really wanted to. So what I've decided to do for my entrance is, when the battle is beginning and everybody's all coming in, the wolf is just there on the map. Just the wolf. And then, above, a Twilight portal opens up, and then Midna plops down on the wolf's back.
Nice. Do it. A nice variation. It's the crux of the entrance, if you will.
It's the exact same thing as yours, except my wolf is already there, and your wolf teleports with her.
I like the aesthetic of her flopping on the wolf's back.
It's funny as hell, isn't it?
Yeah, it caters to the character because that's how she is.
So. Yes, it is.
An imp is an imp.
An imp imps.
Exactly.
She drinks and she knows things. Wait.
And yeah. And something rather. I don't remember where it's
You
going to
lost
take.
your own joke. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, and Varys has no dick.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Next time on the whatever the fuck this show is called, I quit. Please. Okay.
Always want a good imp, but you need the bad Midna.
Nope, we're moving on that.
Game of Thrones. Anyway, what?
The entrance animation, I believe you were saying that Midna would plop onto the wolf's back as well?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. I don't have to rewrite my entrance animation now when I put it on the wiki. Yay, always a win for me. Kirby hat is what's next then, which I think is going to be, like all Kirby hats, fairly obvious. Midna's mask, the little headpiece she wears, Kirby just wears it.
Yeah. That's what I have too, except Kirby also is riding on a Twilight Wolf in mine. It's like a chibi version, like a miniature version of the wolf.
That might be a little.
That has
difficult.
a happy face.
Okay, you know what? Let me throw an idea out there for you. Let me throw an idea out there. So Kirby has the headpiece on.
Mm-hmm.
What if there is a little chibi plush wolf hanging off the helmet? Yeah?
I was just joking about the mount, but that sounds great.
I was hoping you were, but then I threw that out there just in case. Because sometimes I just don't fucking know with you, dude.
You'd probably just be wearing the headpiece and Smash proper, but if you want to toss the plush in there, more power to you.
I mean, it's the only way the wolf can possibly represent it on Kirby. Probably just the mask is what's better, but a plush would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so we got the easy shit out of the way. Now we get into where it gets hard. Yay, taunts. It's your favorite.
I love it when it gets hard. Let's do it.
Well, moving on with my first taunt in that case, because Jesus Christ, you're a freak. So for my first taunt, I have the Twilight Wolf will raise its head up towards the sky, howl, and then Midna will scratch it behind its ears.
Cool. So for my first taunt, the wolf lifts its head into the air.
This is going to be a great episode, everyone. We were off to a strong start.
No, and Midna scratches its head, but...
is this where, to try and differentiate from me, you start adding a bunch of extra bullshit, and then I pause and I just like, Jonno, can we please just move the fuck on? And then you laugh.
Nope,
Are we already at that part of the episode? Because goddamn.
Nope.
Damn.
Actually, no. I had this written down prior. So what I actually have written down is that Midna hops off of the Twilight Wolf house, but she can be on it. I don't really know what the differentiation is because either way she's just petting its head. But as the wolf howls, you can move the control stick up or down to fluctuate the tone of its howl, to give the players an ability to create a small tune that they create on their own within a split-second period. And Midna dances to it.
Now you're adding extra fluff.
Because Wolflink often sings in Twilight Princess.
I hate you.
Oh boy. Anyway, what's your next one, right?
So for my next one.
Oh. Yeah. What?
No, for my next one here. Hang on, I had to check something, make sure it was working right. The Twilight Wolf will run around in circles, like it's chasing its tail. And Midna is holding on for dear life.
I like it.
You
I
should.
like it.
It's
I do.
genius.
For my next taunt, the wolf performs an uncharacteristic backflip while Midna holds on and giggles. And then she pets it briefly while it pants thereafter.
I'm saying, you're saying the wolf does a backflip?
I did the taunts last, man, and it shows.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna need you to go
Yes.
over that one again because, like, with your laugh, you've been cutting out a little bit.
The Twilight Wolf
I think it's because you're laughing into
performs
your hands.
an uncharacteristic backflip while Midna holds onto its ears, giggling.
Okay.
Once the backflip is over, Midna pets it briefly behind its ear while it pants happily.
Okay. Christ.
Yep.
So through my third one then. The Twilight Wolf is gonna stand and look like it's angry and just snarl at its opponents. Well, Midna will laugh on top of it. I was like, oh, you silly wolf.
Good. Simple, to the point, no fluff.
No
Sounds-
fluff.
Sounds good. Got some decent fluff on your face, though.
I could add some
Mighty
cortisons if you'd like.
weird. Why are you reading my mind tonight? Because I was going to say, for the next taunt, the Twilight Wolf is surrounded by lovely ladies. But even funnier, right? The Twilight Wolf edges forward into a battle stance, growling at onlooking opponents, while Midna delightedly smirks and laughs, contentedly patting it on its side. Which is more or less the same thing.
Again, all three of our taunts are more or less the same thing. I wonder if that will continue in our victory animations. I've really...
And our special moves and just,
Part
like,
of me
everything
thinks
else.
it would be funny, but part of me
Yep.
is like, can we not? Can we let this episode be good? All
We're
right.
kind of running into the problem we thought we would have with Rex, which was like, you know what you're pulling from.
I think you mean the problem we did have with Rex. We had the same
Also
problem with
true.
Rex.
Also true. But then we had the same problem with Gengar, and that was a good episode.
Gengar was actually not quite, because we had some of the same moves, just used in different ways. In different,
That's true.
Different positions.
That made for quite the discussion near the end of the episode.
It did.
Yeah. Victory
So,
poses then.
Victory
What's
poses.
your first?
My first one. The Twilight Wolf is seen using one of its back legs to scratch itself, like you see a dog or a wolf do. And Midna will be floating nearby, just kind of like, maybe just like off the side a little bit. And she'll have her arms crossed and a smirk on her face.
Nice. Nice.
She's gloating a little.
Content. Yep. As she deservedly should. So, for the next one. So the Twilight Wolf scratches the back of its head like a pet would or another wild animal. And then Mid is off to the side, And she's
I know you're fucking with me because this is not your victory was. I know it's not.
No,
I know you're
it's
fucking
not.
with me.
It's not. It's not. No, just Midna, while riding the Twilight Wolfos, is taken up in a Twilight portal, and she's cackling mischievously as she does, while they're like spun around and taken up into the stratosphere by the portal.
So,
They're teleported
alien
away from
abduction.
the field. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, for my second one then, I have Midna is laying across the Twilight Wolf's back, lounging about. She deserves a rest. So Twilight Wolf barks a couple times at the screen.
Nice. It's almost like the precursor to like that horse scene from The Witcher 3 with Geralt and Triss.
I don't know.
And you don't want to know.
I eventually I might get there. I'm like a third of the way through watching Witcher 1 LP, so It's just taking for fucking ever because the game is so fucking long.
Vesemir. Okay. The the Twilight Wolf pounces towards the camera before looking towards the sky and howling triumphantly. Midna's startled by the leap forward before regaining herself, and she's like on its back the entire time. And she pats the wolf on its head.
Okay.
A little giggles here and there, yeah.
So it's more or less our howling taunt again.
Kind of, sort of. I was originally going to have him leap forward and lick the screen, but I didn't know if that would be preferential.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other taunts that... Or not taunts, but victory poses that interact with the screen. I'm fairly sure there's at least one.
Yeah. Well, screw it. Okay. The wolf leaps forward and licks the screen.
Okay.
And Midna's entertained by it. And there you go. And she also licks the screen. No, probably too much.
Yeah, it's too much. That's way too much.
Think Eric would like that?
I don't care. So for my final victory pose, dear God, you fucking freak. So for my last one here, I have Midna is seen sleeping as she leans up against the Twilight Wolf's side, as the Twilight Wolf is curled up around her, protecting her.
Oh, that's nice. Very, very sweet. Just as you are. I like your face because it like kind of just purposefully shows that we both know it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Okay, my last victory pose. The Twilight Wolf leans its head back and howls a sweet tune, which is actually the Song of Time, while Midna floats beside the wolf host, relaxing. So, it's like...
So you had initially come up with 2 howling ones and a howling taunt.
Yeah.
Dude. Listen. That's a lot of howling.
It's like when I get down to at night.
Alright, well, those are our taunts and our victory poses. Now, of course, we have the fun. The
selection portion of the process.
Choosing. So, here's where it always is a little bit rough. As we both were just like, you're going to choose mine,
because
bitch.
It's a wolf.
You're going to choose mine. And the other person was like, no, I'm going to choose mine. What are you talking about? No. Mine are better. No, mine. Yeah, we get in that time.
Yeah.
So it's fun, especially when there's 3 of us. Thank God there's not 3 of us.
Are there? I count 4, actually. Yep. And you even have your fans. Oh, 5. Yeah. 5. Nice. Oh, wait. 6.
7.
Wow. 8.
9.
Holy crap, it's $5.
Yes, it is.
Well, I don't know what number this is at now, but Wormy wants to play too.
That's 10.
There you go. There you go. Oh,
11.
Boy. Good old Squirtle. What does Squirtle have to say about this?
Squirtle, squirt!
That's what I thought. With all that said, I guess we should actually select things.
Yeah, and they all vote with me.
Well, I got my hands. That's what I've been telling myself since high school.
I don't know where that one is. Alright, so let's actually get to it. Looking at what we have here, we've got a lot of very similar stuff, just with slight variations. I do kind of like the wolf jumping forward, though, and licking the screen, though. That's fun.
I think so, too. If you want to fast track it, I'm fine with that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
Any other thoughts?
I like for the taunt wolf running in circles.
Agreed. That was a strong one. I also think that we can eliminate the backflip because that's just kind of like, what the fuck.
It's also feels long. I don't think we need both. I don't think we need all that howling. Especially when two of your howling ones are also the wolf singing.
Yeah, I think my wolf singing for the victory pose is stronger than the taunt.
I agree.
So we can get rid of the taunt and leave the singing victory pose to consider later. Yeah. Okay. So an easy enough process so far.
Yep.
The battle stance ones are both very similar as far as taunts go.
Yeah. They are the same thing. They really are.
In that case, we may as well just keep your notes and then turn that into the taunt.
Yeah, like the only thing different was like mine snarls and yours growls. So that was really the difference there.
Pretty much, it's just inflection, which is hardly anything. Yeah, just keep the Starling one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, taunt-wise, we have Wolf howls, Midna scratches its ears. Wolf howls, Midna scratches its ears, and somehow Wolf starts singing. And then Wolf growling. I guess all the taunts are my taunts? Because he threw out backflip?
Yeah, I
Right.
guess. That's like, our taunts were extremely similar to one another. So
They
it's
really
like,
were.
we kind of just both won there because what the hell?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so then victory poses. We've got Wolf scratching its back with Midna floating nearby. Midna laying on the wolf's back. Midna sleeping against the wolf. Portaling out. And then howling the Song of Time.
Right. If I were to choose another one of yours, I really like the sleeping one.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say, if I was to pick two more, it would be the sleeping and then the Song of Time.
Agreed. The portal is characteristic, but we get it in the entrance animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the scratching, I mean, it's a rudimentary task that the sleeping also fails pretty well. So okay. I guess we have the 3 taunts and 3 victory poses. That's like the least painful conversation we've had about taunts and victory poses.
It really. This is the
Considerably
fastest this is the fastest we've ever finished with taunts. I'm fairly sure. It's never. That smooth.
Yeah. It's never been easy in the past.
But I mean, when you're putting a lot of focus on the wolf, there's not a whole lot you can do, so it kind of makes sense.
I had Midna doing the worm at one point. Midna does the worm.
If you're being
Midna rides the Alaskan bullworm.
Okay, there we go.
Midna sends the mail through the mailbox. Midna leaps down a laundry chute. Ah!
That's why I keep Cubone.
Midna is hit by Cubone.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, this might be a shorter episode than I thought it was going to be. Damn, if we get through that in half an hour. Oh god, that'd be
nice.
No, I'm not going to say that because that could be bad. So I guess it's time to get into the actual moveset earlier than I anticipated.
I am with it, doggy.
So, like with our taunts and victory poses, I would not be surprised if most of what we have here is very, very similar. Although I do think the extra skill, at minimum, will be different.
I believe so.
Alright, so do you want to start off with your standard special then?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. My standard special, I'm speculating here, is probably fairly straightforward, similar to what most Smash fans probably speculated would be. And I call it Twilight Spark.
Okay.
Yep, Midna. This is a chargeable move. It can grow larger and travel further with time.
Mm-hmm.
And it travels kind of in an arc. What would you call a wave arc like this?
Like a wave beam.
Up and down, up and down. Yeah, like a wave beam, but it's an electric ball of Twilight energy, essentially. And it hits an opponent. disperses dark energy. Kind of bada bing, bada boom. I have it written down here that you can angle it. So if you're on a ledge, maybe you can throw it slightly upwards or slightly downwards, diagonally. So, and that's kind of it.
All right. Well, for me, my move for Midna, it's kind of similar to Mewtwo and Lucario, how they have Shadow Ball and Aura Sphere, but I call mine Twilight Orb. So for this move, Midna will charge me sparkling orb of energy in that little hair hand
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
she has,
Hmm.
which is weird.
Yeah,
Listen, Zelda fans,
yeah.
you know it's weird. You can't. You know. You know. So the orb's design is going to be based off of its appearance in Hyrule Warriors. So it's going to be like this dark orb, but it's also going to have like chains that are all wrapped around it. You can charge up to attack to increase its size, the damage, and knockback, as per usual. And when it's at its maximum charge, the attack will actually, instead of dealing any knockback, will stun them, whether they're on the ground or midair or whatever, which allows Midna or, again, whoever, to run up and deal additional attacks against them. I do not have that you can angle it around, partly because of the stunning effect. I don't want to be like, here, you can do everything. That's what I have for her standard.
What if you can angle it to a certain point, like if you have it uncharged?
Um,
But if it
not.
is charged, it becomes too cumbersome in her hair hand to angle.
I hadn't. The problem with. I'm trying to think of other characters because I designed this one to be very similar to the Mewtwo and Lucario versions.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the problem. I don't think you can say that you can either angle it and then if you charge it too long you stop angling, because where do you stop the ability to angle?
Hmm.
When does it become something you could no longer angle? And if you had it
Yeah.
toggled up, like if I was targeting it up and then I kept it charging, is it still going up or does it now go straight forward?
True. True. True.
So I would say just for my integration, no angling.
Okay. Got it. Still funny that it's quite a similar move.
I feel like for most people that's the standard special for Midna.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just obvious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have the flinch down, you didn't have the angling down. Otherwise, it's the same.
Pretty much.
So it's just deciding which version you want to go with. I
Yeah.
think one is the standard and one's a little different. So I'm going to think of what is
Oh,
more useful in the scope of Smash. It's probably so you can carry the charge. I'm assuming like Samus's charge shot, or
yeah, I'd say so. But only when it's full. Actually, no, yeah, because
only
they
when
did
it's full.
change that. No, like
Hmm.
Lucario, if you can't, I'm not sure if I think it's the same for Lucario and Mewtwo. I'm not sure about Samus, but if you
Hmm.
cancel the charge and like do a dodge, you keep where you're at and you can resume later. But if you get hit, then you lose the whole
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. In that case, I think your iteration is a more utilitarian in the scope of playing the game. If I am being honest, you do have angled attacks like pits, though.
Yeah, the difference between
So,
angling Pit's Attack and angling something like a fully charged War Sphere or Shadow Ball is Pit's Attack is small. It's
hmm.
small. It's super quick. Shadow Ball or especially Ore Sphere can get huge.
Hmm.
I think that's really
True.
where you draw the line between what can be angled and what can't.
Hmm. Okay. Well, huh. No, I still think with the flinch effect, yours, you think about playing competitively or in an intense match between friends. What's more useful, to make an opponent flinch or to angle a thing and make him flinch for half a second? So, I mean,
Kind of depends on the rest
it's
of their moveset. I mean, if they have
I
other
concur.
like because if you use this as an edge guarding technique, they feel like if you have
Hmm.
other good things that are good for edge guarding.
True. True. So what do you want to do? You want to revisit that then,
I mean,
or
normally we go through the whole move set and then we pick.
it's been so long since we've done a character I didn't remember.
Wow. I
And
was
it's
wondering why
yeah,
you were going to the debate. I was like, is
it's half my
he?
podcast. I know.
It's like you are never on top of things. Never.
Well, that's just my role in life. Some people appreciate it.
Who?
Let's see. You want the list?
No. I would like your side special, actually.
Oh, my side special is another chargeable attack, and I would say that this is a good edge guarding technique.
Mm-hmm.
It's I haven't decided whether I want to call it Twilight Quake or Spear. I'm kind of leaning towards Quake. Or Midna's hand on her in her hair on her head.
Mm-hmm.
That one, it grows huge. It grows fairly large, and she slams it into the ground, and the wolf kind of like that, and the wolf kind of like is so overburdened by all that weight shifting forward that it's leaning forward on its front paws by all the energy that has been dispersed by Midna with her huge hair hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the huge hair hand, of course, that can damage opponents and probably even ground them, similar to DK's side special. But once the hair hand slaps into the ground, protruding spears of Twilight will rise from the ground. So it's a chargeable move, and the length of those spears depends on. So it's like fencing going up, but they're energy beams.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're dark. They're Twilight magic, beams of Twilight magic that jut out of the ground up to a certain radius. For the sake of it, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 Kirby's across, since we often measure in character distance. And yeah.
What did you call that attack again?
I was thinking Twilight Quake or Twilight Spear. Not quite sure which one is preferred.
Okay.
Yeah, or Wave even.
Well, the hand hitting the ground thing was actually an animation that I was thinking of, but I had it more envisioned as a side or down smash. She's smashing into the ground. But that could work as a side or even a down special as well.
Sure.
What I had though is not the same. Finally, right? So what I have down here, I call this move Wolf Pounce. So Midna will point her finger forwards and command her Twilight Wolf to leap forwards a short distance as it snarls at her command. The distance is short, however, it can be charged up to a degree. When the stack is being charged, the wolf will be pawing at the ground with one of its front paws, which will alert anybody paying attention to go, oh, Midna about to wolf pounce, I gotta bounce by. The speed of its pawing indicates how charged up the attack is, so the longer you charge it, the faster it'll be pawing at the ground. You have to be careful though, because, well, you know Wolf O'Donnell's side special, right? How he kind of goes up into the air at an angle, and if you are a little too close to the ledge, you just fall and die. Yeah, the same kind of thing can happen. You can be like, oh, hey, here's me, leap. Oh, wait, where's the platform? Okay. That's not fun. Been there a time or two. So, that can happen. When it's used in the air, you cannot charge up the moves, but you can get some horizontal distance. And if the wolf makes contact with another fighter, it will knock them to the ground and bite them at the neck area, generally speaking, because, Game & Watch. And then it'll kick them away and just kind of like do a very short leap back, like maybe like a half a Kirby distance, so it doesn't go like too far away. Fighters who sustain a little bit of damage have a chance to get out of the wolf's attacks and then counter back at Midna, though.
That's Thanksgiving. It breaks into the lunge pouch thing that Wolflink does in Twilight Princess fairly often with the targeted pounce.
Yep.
All that while adding more flair to it and more substance. So, very strong move. Good to work. Play it.
That's right.
So, you sure do. And that's why I crush a lot. So the ups the up special for that I have planned for Midna is yeah, it's called Wolf Lunge.
Your up special is Wolf Lunge?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's a little different in execution though. So the Wolfos lunges towards a an arrow like targeting in Twilight Princess that the player is able to place at a radius. It's like Yoshi throwing his egg in Yoshi's Island.
Gotcha. Okay.
So and so it can be so you land the arrow correctly and you can chain it. If it hits something malleable like an opponent, you're able to chain the move so the wolf is wall jumping essentially. Even between what's so it takes inspiration from.
It's like Pichu and Pikachu's out special, except you have to hit something solid to get that extra jump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or not necessarily. But what I was thinking is that the jump is enough to where one would be fairly okay. Not great for recovery, but decent. Not horrible. Not little mech.
Probably again like
yeah.
Pichu.
Yeah, and then but if you chain it into an opponent, the wolf will pound into the opponent, bite the opponent, and then head up in a whatever direction you specify next.
Okay. How many times can you chain it? Just the one?
3 times.
Damn.
2 to 3 times.
Damn.
Yep.
I mean, granted, that takes some timing and the perfect setup, but damn. Talk about
so yeah, it could be an opponent or maybe a solid wall. That's kind of where I originally thought.
So opponents or walls that it can work against.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Don't want it to be too OP. So
it's like wolf. So the wolf can't wall jump technically, but with this move, they can wall jump.
Yeah, and that takes some inspiration from Twilight Princess. I don't know, like in your research for Midna, you saw some gameplay of early on where you're escaping from Hyrule Castle when it's taken over by Twilight, and you're Z targeting and having Wolflink jump at huge distances between broken staircases. But that's essentially where that move came from.
Okay, yeah, I actually did not watch Twilight Princess for this one. I was more relying off of memory of watching Twilix play years and years ago, and then also just looking up a few specific things.
Well, if that's the case, why aren't we doing an Aku moveset?
Huh?
I don't know. Just what a standout character. Aku.
Oh God! You mean the ugly head thing?
Tribe?
Oh no! That thing
junior.
is one of the ugliest things in Zelda. Period. That thing can burn. No.
I added when we did our mystery submissions late last year for the Smash Brothers for Cash Brothers year. I had originally thought of doing something for Aku as the moveset.
I'm really glad you
did. But then yeah, I did Polar Bear, which could have been more of a shocker, but it was a decent moveset. Aku would have been just golden though, of course.
Nah. Somebody at Mercurius wants me to moveset for Ook. The boomerang monkey? I don't remember who it was, but somebody did it.
I think it was DK3.
That tracks.
Yeah. Although Kamek Guy did Bathtub Mario.
Kamek Guy had some interesting choices at times. There's no denying.
And I did Elf Bowling Elf.
Yeah, you did.
And Eric did Pokemon Trainer Blue. Oh wait, that was Dojo TL. Whoops!
I don't know what you're talking about. That was Eric.
Okay, well, we'll rewrite canon.
Sure. So, for my up special, my up special is quite a bit more, shall we say, normal. It's a warp.
Teleport.
It's a teleport. Specifically, it's Twilight Warp. A portal appears. Actually, no, that's not quite how it goes. Midna with a little small chuckle and she'll spin herself around and just like vanish in that animation she does with the wolf disappearing with her. And then by default, the teleport just brings her just straight up. A portal will appear and then she'll appear out of it. But you can also angle it to appear in different locations like you can all the other teleporting characters. Fairly simple, fairly basic. Hey, look, portal.
What portal? No, I mean, I was thinking of that originally, and that's why I kind of wanted to avoid it.
Yeah.
Because I knew one of us probably would. And that's it's a good move. I mean, you get it, and you teleport, and bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Just like other friends who teleport. Me too, Palutena. It works. What? What's up?
Down special.
Downs. Oh, okay. Yeah, I call this one Twilight Field.
Oh.
So in Twilight Princess, you're holding down the Z button, and when Midna's a top wolf link, and you're in the Twilight realm, you can engage in a spin kind of attack. But you're charging it, so it's like charging Link's spin attack as a humanoid, essentially. But same command. But instead of just twirling around, what happens if you get opponents? So the baseline is you charge and the wolf twirls around, right? And that damages opponents.
Its spin attack was a down special so far.
But well, you can charge it, and if anyone's caught within this field of Twilight magic radius, right? So there's a field of magic that grows out from Midna and the wolf. That's a fair few, 3 Kirby's in diameter. You're
talking about the Dark Energy Strike attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if there's opponents that fall within that area of the Twilight field, and you let go of that button, the wolf will home in on each opponent and just power through them and quickly attack them with a biting lunge. And then whatever opponent, and it hones in as it does in Twilight Princess, which is whichever opponent falls within the field first is what attacks first. Whatever comes in second attacks second. Whatever's last is last. So the opponent that's last tracked into the field that you chain in there is where the wolf will appear last and is roughly where they will land.
Okay.
Essentially. So if you don't catch anyone in the radius, does a quick spin that is pretty powerful, has decent knockback. If you do catch people in the radius, it does the homing attack.
All right.
That makes them flinch for a brief period and bada bing.
What if something leaves the field before Wolfling gets to them, or before the
something
charge
leaves
is
the
done?
field? If something leaves the field, they won't be attacked,
Okay.
or the wolf will try and go in that general direction and won't hit anything.
Okay. So you had me confused at first because it sounded like you were just saying, "Oh, it's spin attack on the ground," and you're just like, "Oh, he's charging the field." And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Then you get to the whole targeting. I was like, oh, okay, that attack.
Yeah, and you're able to move around very slowly during that time to move it around. And maybe opponents can slow down a tiny bit to make it a little easier to get them when they're in that field of magic. That's kind of that, though.
Okay. So, for my down special, yep, I had a lot of trouble with this move because I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I translate the Dark Energy Strike from Twilight Princess into Smash? It's one of the iconic Wolf Link move in Twilight Princess, probably, I would say. Yeah. Besides just, jumping at something and biting their necks out. So it's like, okay, this is a huge thing. How do I make this work? And I fucking struggled, man. I struggled to come up with a good concept that I liked. But here's what I got. So, Midna's hair hand is going to reach up above her as a large ring of black and red energy will begin to spread along the ground with Midna at its center. So it's just traveling across the ground. You don't see like a dome or a sphere of energy. It's just like trickling across the platform. Any opponents inside the string will have a sparkling red symbol appear above their heads, indicating that they are now a target, which is not good. It's not good for them. At this point, Midna will... you can let go of the button then to command Midna to attack with her wolf, which will then rush and attack at them. The wolf will rush towards all targets that are in range of the attack, going in order closest to farthest away. Opponents can try to run and get away from the attacking wolf as the wolf leaps towards them. If the wolf fails to make contact, it'll just go to its next target. So, if wolf's leaping at Cubone just misses, wolf will be like, well, shit. Next target goes this way instead.
Yeah.
The wolf attacks by lunging at the opponent and will bite at them very quickly before kicking off of them and proceeding to their next prey. This can be a very dangerous attack, though, because it's very easy to get baited off the stage and then jump down to their own demise. The attacks can be delayed if you hold down the special button. However, doing so will cause the ring to start shrinking, which can help opponents get out of the range of the ring's effect. So you can charge up, you can get large, but then it's going to start condensing back down if you go too long. At the same time, if Wolfling doesn't necessarily continue tracking them, once the attack goes, it's like, okay, this is where they were, I jump here. This is where they were, I jump here.
Okay. Sounds fair.
More or less the same thing, just a few subtle differences.
Yeah. Well, either which way, nicely executed. And when we get to the deliberation process, it's really just kind of what minor differences are we going to plug in?
Yeah.
Okay. Onward to the final smash, though, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I just have a feeling, right?
Oh yeah.
So this final smash is called Fused Shadow.
Yep.
So Midna activates the true power of the Fused Shadow, becoming a great octopetal beast, as she does in Twilight Princess, and I think Hyrule Warriors too. So she's this huge octopus-like Twilight creature with the Fused Shadow on top, just pour all that energy pouring out of it. And she thrashes about and causes a huge ruckus on the stage. This was a little difficult as is this CGI? How do I approach this? It's not CGI. So she may be liable to pick opponents up who fall within her frame, and slam them into the ground. She can spin into them with the tentacle things, the tendrils, if you will, the Twilight tendrils. And that's it. Just major thrashing about of the Fused Shadow. Also, though, let's say too, let's find another round creature from Smash Brothers to compare this to. Puff Up for Jigglypuff's Final Smash. Let's say it's about that big.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then you're fairly stationary, but you make up for it by having Twilight Magic also assist in the process. So there is I don't know if I want all of this at once, but I had a couple ideas of having Twilight Magic pour out from underneath Midna in this form and seep forward onto the stage, kind of like a sludge to hurt opponents, and also having Twilight bursts, little miniature versions of the Twilight Spark, essentially fling out from the beast and kind of get that outer radius and potentially hit them that way too. And then eventually, of course, she returns to normal again.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
you're essentially full screen nuking with Midna.
Yeah, just at a slow and uneven pace, so it's not too crazy.
Okay. Question. When you said that it'd be as big as Puff Up, are you saying that Midna in her Fused Shadow forms is as big as Puff Up, and then all these other attacks are just around that? Or is the Fused Shadow form smaller than that, but the wrathful tendrils of Twilight energy are going in the attack range of how big Puff Up is?
The second one.
Okay, that makes it slightly less crazy.
Yeah.
Because if it
I
was
also said,
Midna as
yeah.
big as Jigglypuff and Puff Up, and then wild attacks around that, it's just like, why don't you just have the whole screen get nuked then? That's what you're doing. Because like I have in my head like, essentially, the Whomping Willow is happening, is what's going on here. Midna became the Whomping Willow.
Yep. You want to drive your car into that?
No. I think the Twilight Sparks might be a little much.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like literally hitting the entire screen. The
Yeah.
sludge. I could kind of see like the Twilight sludge like appearing in the nearby area around Midna, which
Mm-hmm.
if people are in it, it's harder to jump, so it's harder for them to get out of range.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Then okay, so what's your final smash?
So my final smash is Fuse Shadows. What else is there for Midna? Come on. Come on. So
Oh man.
mine is different, naturally. For mine, Midna's going to take her hair, form it into a bigger hand even than normal, and it's just going to like stretch out forwards and just grab somebody. As far as
Nice.
it needs, no, it doesn't go like all the way across the screen, but it goes a pretty good distance. You just whoever meets first, grabs, pulls, cinematic.
Nice.
Where, as you can imagine, the
Nice.
cinematic. I have to find where I have it in my notes. So the unfortunate fighter is going to find themselves inside the Twilight Realm, and they're surrounded by shadow beasts, which is bad for them. Off in the distance, Midna, who is now wearing and using the full power of the Fuse Shadows, is going to tower about in her spider-like form, with a gigantic lance in her hand. Sure, we'll go with hand. She's going to stab down at the ground where the fighter and the shadow beasts are, causing a Twilight energy explosion, which eradicates the shadow beasts, and also sends the fighter flying away, taking heavy damage. It's pretty much exactly how the attack is in Hyrule Warriors, and the cutscene
Yeah.
where Midna uses the Fuse Shadows in Twilight Princess.
Yeah. I was wondering if you'd go that route.
Yep.
One thing that I was partially surprised by is that it's cinematic, since you tend to avoid that kind of final smash. But it works there.
It just depends on what the attack is. Like while I think something's going to be cinematics, Wario Man.
Mm-hmm.
This one it felt like a cinematic to me when I was looking at
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
That said, it could be. It doesn't necessarily have to be cinematic. Like you could take the exact same thing, take out the hair, grabbing somebody, just have her turn into Fuse Shadow Midna, taking the lantern, just like stabbing it in front of the some distance ahead of her, and just shoots energy upwards.
Right. Right. Either which way,
Yeah.
I think cinematic works though for it. Like as you said,
Mm-hmm.
it would be more of an assured hit anyway.
Yeah.
You know. So mine is just like this
Eldritch,
hellscape.
Eldritch horror. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting discussion. I take it we're moving on to extra skills though.
And of course, it's what we do.
Yep. Okay. I have two potential extra skills. The first one is just the Mirror of Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Taking inspiration from Hyrule Warriors, actually, since Midna's humanoid form rather, uses the Mirror of Twilight as a weapon.
True
in
form
Hyrule
Midna.
Warriors. Yeah, true form Midna. She essentially, you hold the extra skill button, and the Mirror of Twilight appears as a shield in front of Midna and the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in a defensive stance behind the shield. And then so the shield collects energy as it is hit. And you can carry this around with you for a period of time. There's a certain amount of energy that it can collect all at once, of course. But you're able to charge it essentially without it being hit by other people or projectiles or whatever, without it losing its charge. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can carry it along for a little bit. And then whenever you press the extra skill button again, though, you're able to release the energy on Twilight magic onto opponents and deal a good amount of damage. I was kind of thinking Black Panther ish
Okay.
kind of thing with it.
How is this energy expended?
Uh, Wait, what? Can you?
So they take in. They're being the shield is being attacked. It's gathering energy.
Mhm.
But how is the energy then sent back out?
Oh, okay. Let's say that you press the extra skill button alongside another input button. Like, oh, it's shield toggle and also B at the same time.
I think you're missing what I'm asking here.
Yeah.
You're saying that the attack comes like the energy is released.
hmm
How is the energy released? Is it shot out like in a dome? Is it
Oh,
in a beam?
yeah. It's shot out. It's shot
It's
out
kind of missing.
in kind of a yeah, like a radial sphere,
Okay, so it releases
like a circular
a
beam.
sphere of energy around Midna.
Yeah.
Okay,
hmm
I assume the
This
damage and potentially the size of that radius increases based on how much the shield is absorbed.
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing too crazy. Let's say that it can absorb up to like a fully charged shadow ball,
okay,
or like one hit of Ganondorf's punch or whatever, and that's full power.
okay. So it's actually not that. It's actually very easy to get it fully charged.
Right.
Okay,
Um, and the other idea that I had is called Midna's Hand, similarly to Xant's Hand in Twilight Princess. So, but a little different. It's more like a floor master. So Midna's hair hand, she is standing in place, and then she lets it sink into the ground in like this little dark pool of twilight energy.
mm-hmm.
And then you can guide using the directional stick the twilight energy in like this little sphere on the floor. You can guide it forward or you can guide it backwards. And wherever you unleash it, her hair will jut up from underneath to grab opponents and slam them into the ground.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
kind of fun. That's also something that could be a side or a down special.
yeah, it can. It can. And then
Interesting.
and you can keep them held in place for a bit, I guess, too, is what I had here. So if you hold the button while the pan is unleashed, you can kind of just crush them in the hand before slamming them to the ground.
It's kind of like
And
Greninja's side special, except Midna doesn't have to move.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and et two.
So I had to change my extra skill from its original version. Originally, I was using the Mirror of Twilight. And
Oh,
I was using it in a way where you could omnidirectionally have it project light, which would damage opponents. And then
nice.
I realized, as I was listening to our Toon Link episode so I could get him uploaded to Smashtopia,
Yep.
that's his extra skill too, using the mirror shield. So it's like, well, shit. Can't do that. I need a new idea. So, I had to take a little bit to find something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't coming up with anything that I liked as far as like what Minda can do. So I was like, okay, let's look at the other items and equipment that's in Twilight Princess that Link uses. Maybe Minda's borrowing something. Smash is no stranger to having characters take a technique or an item from a different character in the games, even though they never used it, right, Ness? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ness? So, I
Mm-hmm.
figured, okay, Minda can do that too. And nothing was really working. I was like, ball and chain, spinner, Hawkeye. None of this shit is really working for Midna riding on a wolf. What can I do? Well, that's a weird item. Well, it doesn't really do anything, but maybe I can bullshit something here.
The lines of truth.
The Ghost Lantern.
No. Okay.
So, the Ghost Lantern in Twilight Princess, it helps, when there's Poe nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And you can trap Poe souls and whatnot and have all kinds of fun there. So, so for Smash, Midna will bring out the Ghost Lantern and give it a little shake. And there's like a ringing bell sound effect when she does this. if there's an opponent next to Midna when she does this move, a ghostly wail is heard as the spirit of a Poe possesses the fighter.
Crap.
The fighter will be temporarily surrounded by like this dark purple mist. And for the next, I believe I have it as 10 seconds, that fighter has their attack and their knockback capabilities lowered. Midna can only do this to one opponent at a time, and if she attempts to use the Ghost Cannon on a second fighter, then the Poe leaves the original one and it now possesses the new fighter.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Yep. Hey, extra skills can be a large variety of things. Sometimes they're an attack.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a debuff. Sometimes it's a stance change.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I guess got to get into the nitty gritty, eh?
We do. So now, as always, we have the unenviable task of actually saying what we using. It's gonna be a lot harder than it was for our taunts, I think.
I think so.
All right. So let's look at this here. I figure we might as well start off with the things that have the most similarities. Twilight Orb versus Twilight Spark on our standard special.
So pretty much the difference came in angling it or making it flinch people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yours also moved in a more wavy pattern, where I think mine was really just flying in a straighter line.
So I gave a fair amount of thoughts earlier when I thought that we were going to just debate for it right there like an idiot. So where are your thoughts on it right now? Let me predict. You're gonna stump for your one. Give me your best campaign.
Well, here's why. Here's why. It again comes back to the angling of it. There are some projectiles that get aimed, some projectiles that don't get aimed in Smash. Smaller projectiles are the ones that tend to be aimed more than anything else. Ezio's throwing knives, Pit and Dark Bit's arrows. The bigger orb attacks, whether it's from Samus or Mewtwo, Lucario, or whoever, those ones don't get aimed.
Yeah.
They're the charging orb of death.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be unique, though, for the charging orb of death to be angled?
I mean, it's already unique if the charge can stun.
Can it?
Yes. The other ones don't do that.
Both.
If it's both, then we're adding a lot to it.
Yeah, that's true. For me, it comes down to, like I said earlier, what would be more useful in Smash in general, because they can both be useful. So I like edge guarding for angling, of course. Simple technique enough there. But I do think that if you're having this faster traveling orb that is able to flinch opponents pretty much no matter where they're at, giving you ample opportunity to follow it up with a combo of some sort, that might be the more immediately, at least foreseeably useful option. So I'm not in disagreement there. So I'm fine with moving on with yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being the case, let's look at our down specials next. Twilight Field versus Dark Energy Strike, which are, again, more or less the same thing.
They're pretty much the same thing, but you just offered more detail.
Go over your version again, just so I can make sure.
Right, okay. Quickly here, it essentially, I tried to model it as much as it is used in Twilight Princess as possible. So you're holding down this down special button inputs, and immediately that full radius appears around Midna for the Twilight Field.
As the wolf is spinning.
Yep. Wait, no.
That's how yours is. You have the wolf spinning.
Yeah, no, not consistently. So,
Oh,
uh,
I thought he was spinning
if
around himself the whole time this field is generating.
nope,
Like he's a
nope, nope,
goddamn hamster in a wheel.
nope, nope. While you're moving around, just generally, you're just moving sauntering very slowly wherever you're moving the button input left or right. Similar to in Twilight Princess, where you're holding that attack button down and
Mm-hmm.
you're able to move left. Yeah. Um, the spin comes into effect if no one comes within that radius. So, like in Twilight Princess, that's the default attack if you're not catching anybody in the Twilight field.
Right.
Um, so that's just kind of that. So it's separate from if you capture any opponents with them. So if opponents do get within the field, again, there's ordering, and yeah, we can say like a little dot, shining little dot appears over their head to show that they're in the field. Uh, Maybe even delineating 1, 2, 3, 4, like how what order they were in. So that because the wolf will attack in the order that they come into the frame. So if one opponent's here, the wolf will go there. So lunge to the right. The second opponent that came in is to the left. It'll lunge back to the left, and it's a quick motion where it's biting them and then going to the next opponent. Um, Beyond that, I would say that there's a certain time lag with it. So when you are here, and then the wolf is coming after you, and you go like that, the wolf just misses and moves on to the next target.
Right.
Um, and that was essentially the move. And then I know that you said something like, in yours, the energy field grows smaller the longer you hold it. And I think that's a fair inclusion regard, either which way.
Right. Because mine
And
is also
yeah.
you don't get to move around while you're targeting it. You're in this
Hmm.
one static location, so you can try and get as
Hmm.
many people in your field as you want. But at a certain point, it's like, all right, you need to let the
Hmm.
move go now. We're gonna shrink it down so that you can
Yeah.
actually just use the move.
It's like
And if
it's
it
like
gets
using Bowser's Fire Breath too long.
yeah, and if it gets down to where like we're back to Midna and the wolf, then the move just is over and you failed essentially. But you
Yeah.
can also
Yeah.
cancel out of it. Well, I mean, you can't necessarily cancel out of it unless nobody is in the field. Because
Hmm.
once you let go of the button, Wolflink will pounce from closest to farthest away.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Are there any other differences with yours?
I think that was really just it. It was just that you stay in place, the field uh,
Hmm.
grows and then shrinks, and instead of going from order that they enter the field, it's just whoever is closest to Wolflink, that's who goes. Because otherwise, you could go from here to 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 here. In this case, it's more like
True.
here, 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 here.
Okay. Okay. I get you. I get you. One thing that I will stump for in this to include in this move is the movement. As small as it is, since
Mm-hmm.
you're moving so slowly, it's pulled straight from the game's material. So it's similar, I think, as we've said on this podcast before, since Brawl, and then gets a little more in Smash 4, a little more in Ultimate, we're getting more and more of the source material shoved into these characters. So
Right.
just because it's source material,
The
I would
reason why the reason why I didn't do that is because
mhm,
you start being able to go like, okay, it becomes makes the move a lot stronger. It's like, oh,
mhm.
I'm just gonna go towards you. You don't want to be in my field. I'm gonna make you in my field instead of being
True,
more.
true,
I don't know how to
right,
put this, but it's more like, all right, I need to get these people that are near me into it, and more so like I'm gonna
true,
go towards
true,
you because
true. Yeah, yeah.
the whole smack. It's the trouble is like we want to have things, and you know me, I like doing source material as well. Some things
Hmm.
don't translate well,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying when
especially
I
3D
get what you're saying.
movement.
I get what you mean, absolutely. So what I kind of mean by movement
Hmm.
is nothing super considerably fast or even decently paced. I mean more or less you're moving at a snail's pace.
Okay.
So it'd be very ineffective to have that move open while moving. It's something opponents can easily get out still. It adds onto the move, but it's fairly minor, I think,
Right.
in terms of what it adds to the power of the move.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my stance anyway. As far as the directional output goes, though, that's where I'm more in agreement with you, where I can see what you mean by game design wise. It works in Twilight Princess to home in on enemies as they come into the scene. But in Smash, it makes more sense for it to be closest to furthest.
Right.
So I'm with you there.
It's kind of like how a lot of people will say, like, "Oh, Mario should get Cappy in Smash, then he can take over opponents." Like, you've realized that doesn't work in Smash, right?
That'll be a
to say it in a kind manner, you fucking idiots. That doesn't work. You can't have a character take over somebody else in a fighting game. Get fucking real. God, small tangent there. It pissed me off so much when Odyssey was brand new and people were saying, like, Mario can get Cappy and then control opponents. No, he can't. He could get Cappy, sure. That could be like a new aerial move that he could have. But, no. He's not going to control an opponent in Smash Bros. You're all stupid. Fucking say it. You're stupid. And not everything is a one-to-one translation, people.
No, it will be when Oopa's playable, though.
Anyway. It would be easier than one-to-one him. I mean...
That's true.
True.
That's true.
So, if I'm reading between some of your lines here, it sounds like my version of Dark Energy Strike, but with the snail's pace movement.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of
unless there's anything else that you wanted to bring up for that's either missing or should be adjusted. But that's kind of what I was reading from what you were saying.
That's what I was trying to imply.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless there's any objections.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not happy about movement in it because I feel like it adds a little bit much to it. But if it's literal snail's pace, then it's pretty much just there for almost aesthetic purposes. It's like, sure, you can move, but is it helpful?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things that's minor enough. Like when you were saying movement to me, I'm thinking just like, dear God. Like I wasn't thinking like running speed, but like at least basic walking speed. I'm just like, no, that's too good by far.
And I didn't even mention the RNG. Every so often, Midna might be able to just like explode.
Don't make me Bone Club.
No, I don't want that bone to hit me. But I threw it at your dog. There you go. That's nice. Yeah. There you go. Your very own Twilight Wolf.
Yes. I can't ride him though. It would not go
I agree. He can ride you though.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. A dog appeared. That's Lister's dog for all you audio listeners.
I know what you want. It's not happening. O-U-T.
It's about that time.
After the episode. So we have the standard and down specials now. The next thing that is similar, actually the last thing that's really similar, is the Final Smash. Do we have more of a cinematic? Do we have mostly the same animation as a cinematic, but as a not a cinematic? Or do we have an Eldritch Abomination that murders everyone? Your mic does not like picking up your laughter, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can
It's
listen back to the episode. You'll hear what I mean.
Okay.
It might be your filter.
Could be. You there's certainly one that's more straightforward. There's certainly one that's more how do you say interesting? So
That's true.
Yep. So do we want a cinematic that makes sense for the context of the character? You pull it from Hyrule Warriors, not a bad thing. Good game for Zelda characters to pull from. Or do we go a little more out there, and by that I kind of mean a lot, outside of the cinematic scope, and just have Midna kind of just go insane, wild rampage on the stage? It's difficult because they have the same name, but they operate very differently.
Here's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's perform an edit here.
Sure.
Fuse Shadow Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Midna goes into her Fuse Shadow form. There's... She becomes a large-sized entity. We can say... Not quite the size of Papa, but as far as like Midna herself, I mean. Mm-hmm. But through a large dome around her, there is just a swirling mass of her extra fused shadow arms and like twilight energy that's coming off of her. It's just kind of like Whomping Willow. It's just like attacking wildly in this contained area.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get out of it, stay away, you're fine. But if you're in there, you're going to be taking several hits. True.
Okay. I would be comfortable with that. And what about like the sphere and the sparks and the sludge and the CGI?
Well, first of all, it's not CGI; it'd be cinematic cutscene. But I say it's not a cinematic cutscene. It's happening in the battle, so it harkens a little bit back to the Brawl days because it's more of a longer thing that's happening on there. Kind of like original Octopus for Game & Watch, in a way, but more effective. A more effective Rosalina, you could even say. Like, if both those Final Smashes were combined together and made good, that's more or less how this is looking. I would say no sludge, probably, except maybe like an aesthetic around it. No sparks, because that's the whole fucking screen. And probably no spear, either. Unless, like, the only way I would say the spear is if, like, at the very end, there's one final swipe upward, like, goes the whole way through with the spear. That'd be the only thing I would do. I would probably say, like, don't need the spear.
Okay. I'm comfortable with doing that. And since the spear was your idea, you can kind of just decide whether you want it or not.
I mean, it doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
So, Fused Shadow Rampage. Or Fused Shadows Rampage.
Yeah.
I think Shadows sounds better.
I think... Yeah, may as well.
Alright, well, now we got just the side up and extra skill left to do. For side specials, we have my Wolf Pounce, we have your Twilight Quake, and we could even theoretically, if we wanted to, discuss Midna's Hand.
Right. Midna's Hand is a fun idea. I also think that the Wolf Pounce and the Twilight Quake thing are probably both more useful moves.
Yeah.
So maybe cut the hand and then go kind of like they did in Twilight Princess. They cut a hand.
Ew.
Zant's hand. Anyway, so we're dealing with Twilight Quake or the Pounce.
Right. Let me see if I understand your Twilight Quake correctly, because there was a lot going on there. I want to make sure I have it understood. Was this chargeable?
Yeah.
Okay. So chargeable, make the hand slam forwards. And I'm assuming the charge only affects the second part of the attack. It's not affecting the hand itself.
Right.
Okay. So after the hand slams forwards, then there is Twilight Spears that come up out of the ground, going straight upwards for a set distance, and that distance changes based on how long the charge was. And if there's no charge, it's probably just the hand and no lances.
Mm-hmm. And then the hand is capable of potentially grounding opponents, depending on the length of the charge or how much damage the opponent has.
Okay. If they are grounded, what about the spears? Did the spears start next to Midna after the hand is coming off the ground? Or hand slams. Does hand stay when the spears come up, or does the hand come up?
Hand stays.
Okay, hand stays. So if somebody's grounded, spears are coming up over here, they're not being hit by the spears.
Right.
Okay. Okay, that's... Okay, I've got that figured out, because... some things you have to ask questions to figure out, how the fuck does this look? What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I assume the spear is probably fairly medium damage when they send you straight up into the air?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's the Pounce.
Then there's the Pounce, which is quite literally a pounce.
Yeah.
And you can charge it to go farther. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this doesn't necessarily have to be a rule, but I think to kind of avoid the it's 2 spin dashes talk, there doesn't necessarily need to be a wolf pounce and a wolf lunge.
Fair enough. So then, do we also want to discuss which up special we want at the same time?
I would think so.
Okay. So then we have your... So then we have your wolf lunge, which is essentially Pichu and Pikachu's up special, but requires a physical thing for Wolfling to bounce off of. And when the initial jump, you said that you can angle it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be more like you could either like jump this way or well, maybe not that. That wouldn't work too well. But like something that's like an upwards angle, except for straight up, because straight up would not work.
Correct.
And I assume default is probably going to be something like a 45-ish degree.
Correct.
Okay. Well, actually,
so there's that.
If there's no directional input, you just tab up special. What is the angle for that jump?
It would be either 45 degrees left or 45 degrees right, kind of depending on what is safest at the time.
Well, probably whatever direction you're facing.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. And then Twilight Warp is quite literally just a teleport. With a fancy
and so we have
to it.
So between the side specials and the up specials, we have kind of 2 kind of complicated moves that I made versus 2 pretty straightforward moves that you made. All of which, except for Twilight Quake, taken from Twilight Princess.
Yep.
So let's see. I am actually not saying that I'm biased against my moves or yours. Just kind of that my mind's open, so kind of just wondering like where you're at.
The funny thing is, I prefer both of the wolf moves. I prefer both wolf pounce and wolf lunge.
Well, hell, I mean, it's a wolf. I will rescind my previous statement. I mean, I understand. You get a lot of Midna in the final smash and the down special and the standard special. So if you have 2 wolf-centric moves, then so be it.
Plus, so, I mean, and plus with that, if you're going to have the wolf, make use of the wolf. It's not like Wario is on the bike all the time. No, he summons the bike for one move. If he was on the bike all the time, you'd expect the bike to be used in more than just the side special.
Yeah, it's like when the opponent becomes playable.
Or Alencia. Or Sigurd.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pulling out all of Jonno's pets tonight.
I mean,
How long have we been doing this? How long has this podcast run so far? About?
This episode?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got half an hour.
Oh no, no. So I was just trying to see how long my longest running pet has been running in this episode. Anyway,
I don't know what you mean.
you.
No, you don't.
Okay. Anyway,
All right. So anyway, what do we want to have actually be for the side and up special then? It's like for me, like I think teleports. Well, it works very easily for Midna, and it makes a lot of sense for her.
hmm hmm
Wolf Lunge is a lot more interesting.
hmm
And then for the side specials, the way I'm looking at those is really quick. Has a little bit of complication to it. Like there's math in my head trying to figure that one out a little bit. And whereas Wolf Pounce is pouncing on a wolf.
hmm
Simple.
It's pulled straight from the game. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, so is Twilight
screw
Warp.
it. Yeah, screw that too. Let's do Wolf Pounce and Wolf Lunch. Who cares?
All right, let's do it.
We're eating healthy tonight, boys.
Woo!
With the wolves.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the last thing with the moveset, extra skill time. We have 3 options: Ghost Lantern, Mirror of Twilight, and Midna's Hand.
Oh yeah. So
We have
of
a
the 3,
debuff.
I do.
We have a counter-ish, and then we have Greninja Shadow Sneak.
hmm hmm Of the 3, I think that the Mirror of Twilight is the weakest.
I agree.
So let's just cut that.
Okay.
Midna's Hand.
If we ever make a true form Midna, we can throw that in somewhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What
The
if
Mirror of
what
Twilight
if
would
the
be-
extra skill is turning into true form Midna?
That was something that I was considering, but I didn't have the time to troll you with a full True Form Midna moveset. Otherwise, I would have.
If I had the time to come up with a full true form Midna moveset, I'd probably still say no. I mean, to be fair, someday later down the line, if we ever decide that one of us has an idea for a true form Midna, we could revisit the idea and maybe we toss out whatever extra skill we create is, or we, I don't know, like if we selected Midna's Hand and we decided to drop Wolf Pounce, if we decided we hated on years later, we can put Midna's Hand there, and then the new extra skill is Transformation or whatever. But for now, we won't.
True. So, I mean, I have ideas for True Form Midna. I have ideas for Whalmer. We'll just kind of get there when we get there.
Sure.
In the meantime, it's Midna's Hand versus the Ghost Lantern, and so the hand is fun. You know, it has those 2 little utilities to it, where you're sneaking it across the floor, grabs him, you can choke out an opponent or slam him into the ground. Then you have the Ghost Lantern, summoning pose, possessing opponents, debuffing them. I have a lean. What's yours?
I like both of these. I like both a lot. Midna's Hand is kind of it's Shadow Sneak combined with a command grab, which is a very interesting idea. It also has Midna staying safe far away. Ghost Lantern, it's a debuff. My only concern with Ghost Lantern is why use Ghost Lantern when you can just attack? If it lowered their defense, it'd be one thing, because you can lower their defense and then attack. But I specifically didn't want to lower the defense because other debuff things are still like, oh, always lower defense, or oh, always lower speed. I want to do something. I want to lower a different stat with that one. So that's my only concern with Ghost Lantern is: are you going to use Ghost Lantern, or are you going to actually attack?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I don't know if there's a easy answer to that.
I mean,
Is
there's
the
not
issue.
unless this actually gets into Smash and people play with it. Then we'd have an answer. Otherwise, it's impossible to fucking know.
What has me hung up on Ghost Lantern is that it is extremely aesthetically pleasing and out of left field and still
unique.
from the game. And so I appreciate that. We can potentially have Midna's hand appear with another character, like a Zant, for
Yeah,
instance. It would be
true.
Zant's hand. You want to really stretch the field, maybe Skull Kid, that's gone a little too far, but whatever. Or whoever else. Ghost
Master
Lantern,
Mummy.
it could pop up with like maybe a Fatal Frame character or something along those lines, but less so with the Zelda characters
Right.
or anything too mainline. Oh man, I don't know. This is kind of the stalemate for me because I like you. I like both ideas. Midna's Hand is a little more straightforward. Ghost Lantern has that bit of jank you mentioned, but I mean the concept
Another
is
thing that could be in Ghost Lantern's corner is correct me if I'm wrong here because I know less Zelda overall than you do, but I don't think collecting pills with a lantern is something that's in any other Zelda game.
Let me check really quick.
So I'm fairly certain
Oh,
Twilight Princess, you use the lantern to reveal them, and you have Wolflink essentially eat their soul, and then you trap it. But I don't think any of the games do that. The only other games that even have lanterns are just like regular lanterns. So that would be
right.
one point in Ghost Lantern's favor. I mean, you could, I guess, give it to another Twilight Princess character. But
Mhm.
if it's not Midna and it's not Link, it's kind of why.
Yeah. Also true. So there is, as I am checking
Mm-hmm.
here, just hold on a sec. The Collector. Yeah,
Poe
you are
Collector.
able to catch. Yeah, so you're able to catch Poes in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask as well.
How? Like, is it the same kind of mechanic? There's like a lantern
Let
shit?
me. I have not found that yet. I found the Poe Collector page as I catching Poes every time.
I've watched an
Let's
LP
see.
of Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. I actually have not watched one of Ocarina.
Gotcha. So let's see. You hunt them down essentially,
I think I've seen a speed run though.
and one of the you capture them with a bottle apparently. So it's a little different.
All
Okay,
right.
not with the lantern then. The
No.
lantern certainly trumps a bottle.
Well, the
So
lantern is
okay.
cooler than a bottle for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I concur that really only Link or Midna would use the lantern. Um, I don't know. I think we can give it to the lantern. That was my partial lean when I said I had a lean.
Okay.
Um, if that's something you're comfortable with, and
I'm
then we'll
fine
just
with that. The only thing I would
yeah.
ask is do you think that the stat debuff should be attack and smash power, or should it be something different?
Uh, huh. I think defense is obviously more useful in the scope of things, but it's also, as you say, more fairly used, more
Right.
used more often. Um, shifting attack power, it can have its benefits. It can have its benefits. So if you're using the Ghost Lantern, why wouldn't you just attack to maybe you instantly debuff a character to uh, save a teammate who has a something about to be thrown at them or something
Okay.
like a chef bomb.
Would it be more useful, or would it be too OP if the amount of time that they were have this debuff was increased? Because right now it's set at 10 seconds. And even then, I wasn't sure
Uh,
if 10 seconds was too long or the right time or
mhm.
what. Because I was originally debating 8 to 10.
I think
It's
10
really
is
hard to
fine
judge in
so long as
Smash.
there's it is so long as there's some sort of a certain waiting period between using it again, then I think it's fine being 8 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just possessing one character at a time.
Hmm.
Okay. I guess Ghost
Yeah.
Lantern it is then.
Okay. Yeah, that was difficult.
I mean, they were both good options, but
Yeah, they are.
as you noted, like there's other. I mean, really, there's other characters that can do debuffs too, but there's other characters that can do like the exact same kind of thing of Midna's hand, be it Zant, uh, a Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. Marshadow. We'll
Yeah,
uh we'll probably revisit the Midness Hand idea at some point.
yeah.
And
I'd say that's
so
kind of
we'll
a.
we'll see. We'll see. But with that said, we have the moveset, we have the taunts, we have the entrance, the victory poses, the hat. Amazing. That was a fairly smooth episode.
There's just a few
Um,
things left to figure out.
hmm
For one
hmm
thing, the special abilities, the fun little traits and extra shit. Wolflink can already do its wall jumping when it uses its up special only.
hmm
The only thing I had written down was crouching.
Yeah, I had crouching and also crawling in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
where you're crouching down and then like sniffing the ground as a doggy would.
Oh, okay. Sure. I guess that can be in the animation. Why not?
But that's about it.
What about? Well, what about?
You can.
Can she use her hair as a kind of like a short range grab or a tether?
That works. That works. It would be a nice grab and a nice cheddar.
Okay, I'll just
Yeah,
add that to my notes
do it.
because I didn't
Do it.
have that initially. Then we have alternate colors, the costumes.
What if
I
you're just standing there and then the wolf like licks you when you're idling next to it?
but Midna rides the wolf,
Yeah,
so why would the wolf be licking her standing next to it?
the wolf would be licking an opponent who's standing next to it,
That makes no fucking sense.
and then Midna would too.
No,
Okay.
stop
Anyway,
it. So
so
alternate colors, the costumes. I didn't really have anything here besides just recolors, and the only ones I don't. I just went with red, dark green, blue, yellow, orange, pink, white, light green, and purple. Fairly
mhm.
standard grouping. There wasn't really anything that stood out as like an actual change to her costume that I could see.
That's fair enough. I want a bit of a different approach on the outfits. I have her default, of course, and then I have her costumes based on different armors from Twilight Princess,
Hmm.
as well as different characters from Twilight Princess. So you have the Ordon outfit, Midna, who has a combination of beige, um, green, blue, and orange. So beige skin tone, green mask, blue hair, and orange tattoo marks.
Uh huh. In
uh,
what? Wait. What is this based off of? You said Ordon Village,
Link's,
but
yeah, Link's outfit in when you start the game,
okay.
and the general aesthetic of different Ordonian villagers too, like Colin and Russell will wear similar colors. And then
It's a little hard to imagine because she doesn't wear clothes. And it's just you're changing her skin color to look like clothing.
yeah, let's continue for a second. Uh, Zora Armor Midna with a gold mask, teal mask, what teal hair, and green markings and black skin. Just the black skin that she already has. Uh, then there's one with a gold mask, crimson hair, and then silver skin. I'm unconvincing myself while I read this. Can I say?
Yeah.
But there's better ones. There's better
I
ones.
mean, at the same time, the Twilight Link submission that we have on Smashtopia the wiki already,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure does wear different outfits from
Yeah,
around Twilight
yeah.
Princess. Let me check to make sure, but I'm fairly sure that's how I have him set up. So, he has a few recolors: red, purple, white, and pink, but also Zora Armor, Magic Armor, Dark Interloper, which is just Dark Link, uh, the Hero Shades Armor, and then
Nice,
Ordon outfit.
nice. Okay. Let's backtrack. Let's just say that we're going with yours, but I'll pitch you a few ideas that don't suck.
Okay.
Okay. So, one of the aesthetic, or maybe they do suck. One of the aesthetics that I had planned was a fully Twilight Midnight. So, like though the Twilight Wolf is black and with the blue markings,
Mm-hmm.
you make all of Midna black and with blue markings, with the exception of probably the mask. Make it similar to like a Tron effect.
Okay.
Um, and then I had Midna more modeled after Zant, so her eyes are red and her hair is yellow, and then she has more of a Twilight blue green thing going on with her skin. And then I have one based off of the Yetis in Twilight Princess, where the primary change is in the mask and her hair, where they develop like the mask is white and her hair is patterned like a quilt that Yetta wears. So it's
Okay.
blue, green, orange, and white pastels in a diamond form. And lastly, um,
I'd have to see what that
Cuckoo
looks
outfit.
like. You could eat, or alternatively, you could have the wolf's fur, kind of try and take
Oh
on
yeah,
that pattern.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Because I guess probably because we called the submission in the episode Midna, I was mostly thinking of her, but adding it onto the wolf wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, yeah, Yetta's pattern and quill on the wolf would not be bad. Um, would you like to make the wolf have like a feathered kind of fur with beige markings that makes it look like cuckoo?
No.
Okay. Okay, so basically I'm pitching you the Xanth, the Yetta, and the Twilight outfits as potential.
Okay. I'd have to see. I'd have to see what it looked like to really get it envision in my mind because I'm not thinking like what Yetta looks like, or the Twilight one. I don't have quite a clear vision on that. But giving her kind of like a Xant like appearance,
Mhm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's kind of that.
All right. Well, in that case, we have one last thing to
Yes, we do.
briefly discuss, and that's her home stage. I actually have all I have down is like the location. I don't know like how this would function or be designed at all, but Palace of Twilight made the most sense to me for Midna.
For me, Palace Twilight made the most sense for Midnight.
Cool.
And I have some
Done.
stuff written down
Oh
to
shit.
quickly throw at the screen. Set in the throne room is what I have, not
Oh
traveling all
okay.
around. Because when you're at the Palace of Twilight, Zant kind of sends you out to portions of previous dungeons you're in. Yeah,
Good.
knock that off the kitchen table. Knock that off the kitchen table. Don't make it a traveling stage. So I have it set up for the throne room, and there are. It just changes layout occasionally. Like it's powered by Twilight magic, so platforms shift and move around um, on the lower and upper portion of the stage to change up the layout.
Okay.
And you're in front of the throne room. And then otherwise, I'm thinking maybe Xant's in the background, or maybe not. Maybe his hands in the background, or maybe not. As a partial hazard.
Zane's
Yeah.
hand as a hazard.
Yeah.
It can just appear. I'm assuming this
Mhm.
is a grounded stage.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it can just appear out of the ground. Sometimes it only goes up a short distance. Sometimes it can go up higher up. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Maybe have it come in from above as well, because that boss battle does have it floating in the air as well. So good idea. Good idea. That doesn't necessarily need Zant on the stage too. We can maybe reserve him as a character, or maybe not. I
Yeah.
have no clue.
I mean, I would
Um,
kind of like Kayla's Pokemon League,
mhm.
where when can't think what they're called. When the legendary Pokemon are out, that's when they do like the extra attacks. So Zant appears on the stage, and that's when you can get some Zant hand nonsense happening. But sometimes he'll leave, and then you're good for a little bit. No
Mhm. Mhm.
hazards until he comes back.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I also think maybe it'd be cool to kind of go King of Fighters Arena a little bit and have, because in the Twilight Palace at the front, when you first arrive, like in Midna, there's a bunch of tortured Twilight beings who look similar to Shadow Beasts because they've been so warped by all of that malignant Twilight running around.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically the task at the Palace of Twilight is to save them and make them regular Twilight people again. So maybe just have their punished forms sauntering around the background at some points.
Okay.
Sadly.
See, when you said go King of Fighters, I thought you were saying the
Oh yeah,
walk-offs. I was like,
no,
where are
just
you
the guest
going with
characters,
this? Okay, so
just
just
the guest characters.
cameo characters in the background.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And one song I want on that stage is Uku's theme.
Nope.
How
Nope.
about Uku medley?
Nope. No Uku. Nope. I
Uku rock
refuse.
medley.
I don't like
Okay,
it.
okay, okay.
Well,
That kind of feels like there you go.
that's a wrap on Midna and her little Twilight Wolf buddy. We've come to the end of another Smashtopia, and it's actually our first character Smashtopia of our second year since we did
It
stages
is.
for the first one. And in our next episode, we are going back to Smash Dash. We're bringing in a guest,
Hmm.
and you know, I don't think I'm gonna. All I'm gonna say on the characters for this one is these characters are all. There's a reason we're bringing this guest on to discuss these four characters.
Yep.
And that's all the little
Yep.
tease I'm going to give you today. You'll find out when you see the title of the next episode anyway. It's not like you're going to have to wait too long. Come on now. You'll be
Yeah.
fine. You'll be
It's
fine.
going to be a couple weeks from the time you hear this.
Yeah. But
Tops.
it's, well, you say tops. Minimum, more like. But, yeah, there's a very specific reason why we're having this guest on for these characters. But we'll get into that.
Oh yeah, it'll be a fun old time.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Alright, with that,
Okay.
we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
I'll see you around. Don't eat any sandpaper.
Alright. That is an hour and 58 minutes.
Not bad. Not bad. We